Bang, bang, bang. Scud, scud, scud.
Gang O.
We in here.
Feel me?
What they hit for?
Special occasion.
Oh, that's how we feeling tonight.
Oh, we ain't making
the
none.
world's collapsing. You feel me?
Whole entire world. We ain't making a dollar off of this one.
Hey, listen.
If you don't grab the do-rag and tie it around the front side of your face and start dancing around right now, I don't even know what the fuck you're doing, yo. Damn.
We ain't making a dollar off of this one. We might get banned early. Your man Puff down
Ban
bad. He need every.
Yo, we
need
pretty
every
much
cent.
got to
Man,
drop the F-bomb at this point now. He said F the monetization.
Yo. Listen. We're back in the building.
Yo, this
We're
feels
back in the
right.
building,
Man,
man.
this feels right. Jesus.
Four of us, man. Looking like something, man. How we feeling today, fellas? Peace to everybody on IG. Peace to everybody on X. Peace to everybody on YouTube. How are we doing? How are we doing? I'm good. How we y'all?
Listen, I feel like Harlem shaking right now. God damn it.
Hey, I
Feel
brushed
me?
your shoulder off. You heard?
My son's asleep. My wife's good. We all ate. Let's fucking pod, ladies and gentlemen.
That's fucking pod. Hey, yo,
Yeah.
Young Law, man. I heard that we got a little survey. What's the word, bro?
No, my bad. I was just taking a visual. But yes, we are going to go for our intro survey. That would be, who's the next major celebrity to join WWE in 2024?
Ooh.
Alex Trebek.
Wrong answers only, apparently.
R.I.P.
All right, you do.
It's insane. You just said a dead man is going to be the next.
You doing wrong answers only for real?
Nah, I ain't doing that.
I was going, you know what I mean? I figured
All right, spin
somebody,
the block.
I knew
spin,
somebody
spin the
was gonna
block.
take it there.
Spin the block. Spin the block. I'll come back. What y'all got?
I actually had once you said when you said join, like I'm actually going with Bad
Like
Bunny.
Logan Paul, Bad Bunny esque.
Yeah, I'm going with Bad Bunny since you said join, and I mean join because he may sign like a maybe like a contract for a year or something like that. That's what I'm gonna go with it. Instead of just doing like a little one-off thing, he may officially sign something for a little bit.
Alright. I got Post Malone.
I mean, you're not far off per se with that thought because it's
I feel
like
like
he
I'm
is
in
a
the
rock
category.
star. He could
Yeah.
actually pop up and like hit like Ludwig Kaiser in the face or something. I don't know. You ain't too far off with that.
I feel
Way
like
too
anyone
far
that can have a
with
McDonald's Happy Meal could be at WrestleMania. You know what I'm saying? So
I'm a rock star.
That's a fact.
Yeah.
Ayo, who you got?
Bob Barker.
Come on down.
Dog.
Nah, I'm
Two
going.
dead
I'm going.
TV show
We've
hosts.
seen this guy in AEW. We've seen this guy in TNA. We're gonna see who kid at an international pay-per-view for WWE.
shit. All right.
Okay, that's a good one.
Well,
I'm
no, no,
going to go with a celebrity that was catching my eye that I think pause could be someone that joins the WWE in 2024. Even if it's just to get in the ring and tussle on, I'm going to go with
Jonathan Majors.
Holy mackerel!
Damn, bud.
And let's start the show.
This is a disclaimer. We're not journalists. We're not reporters. We're not insiders. We don't work with or for any pro wrestling companies. We're not pro wrestlers, nor have we ever been. We are not backstage at pro wrestling shows, nor are we getting any dirt from anybody backstage at pro wrestling shows. We watch pro wrestling shows, and then we talk about them, because we're pro wrestling fans. And chances are, if you're watching or listening to this show, so are you. And by the way, Tony doesn't know you. Vince doesn't know you. Hunter doesn't know you. Hunter's name isn't even Hunter. It's fucking Paul. Get a grip. Watch your mouth. This is the Ringside Club. Peace to the gods, the ringside club hard. My name is A.O. Say you're the Ron the Don. Blame Boogie while you at it, blame Chad Law. K-Fabe is dead, break the fourth wall. Whatever style, whether it's lucha or strong style. Come through the venue, fly, burn the bar down. Back to the pad, chop it up for the par. Ringside club, intro to the squad as the show starts.
My bad, Chad.
Peace.
Nah, you really did. You was right on there. Pause. You know what I mean? He was right there. I was right there with you. Trey, I think that would have cleaned him up. Clean his act up, you know what I'm saying? And just jump right into the WWE. And it's like, oh, shit. You can't get movies, so he's a wrestler now. It makes sense.
It seems like that happens with all the SAG-AFTRA guys.
So that's gonna be his attire too, the tuck with the tuck hoodie and shit and whatnot.
I mean, he already got some wavy garms as is, so it's kind of going to be like,
All right, we'll see.
Tucking in a hoodie is awful.
nasty work. Nasty work.
In any language, that shit is terrible. You know what's not terrible? Motherfucking RSC, the Ringside Club. Your boys are back in the building. Best four-man booth in the game, man. Here to talk about all that's going on in the world of pro wrestling, and there is a lot going on in the world of pro wrestling. So let's not even belabor it. Let's get to the shits first and foremost. You hit that URL, that website that's right in the middle of the screen. It's called theringsideclub.com. Everything you need to know is there. All the past episodes are there. All the future episodes will be there. The merch, things of that nature. You can make sure that you subscribe to audio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and all of the podcast platforms. The visual, we're live right now on Instagram, on IG, Instagram and IG is the same thing. It's funny how that shit works. We're also live on X, and we're live on YouTube. When you want to catch us on demand, YouTube is where the video is at. Make sure you subscribe, tell a friend. We'll be here all week, folks, all week. This is episode number 71, man.
You had me sold.
Sirski.
I thought they were two completely
Two different things, right?
Yeah, at the moment,
Yeah,
I was
everybody has an Instagram, but you heard that new IG drop. That shit crazy.
word. Exactly.
Fire.
That shit is crazy. So, yeah, man, without further ado, I'll announce myself as the reigning, current, defending RSC pay-per-view predictions champion of the world. I'm living large out here. My name is A.O. 2 letters, so you need to know. Pass it to my guy, round it down. Scud, baby.
What's good? And I am your retaining RSC TV champion. You already know what it is. You see the gear, you see the hat, cop it all, man. Go to the website, go watch our past episodes, go watch it all, man. What's good, Bug? What's good?
Yo, I've been gone for a minute, but I'm back. And
Man, been out on assignment, man.
yeah. If you're not careful, I'll fall asleep while you're talking to me. So, not you guys, but anybody else that's out there. I love talking to people and listening to what they have to say, and I'm sure they love listening to what we have to say, and that's why we're here. And happy Thursday, gentlemen. Chad, what you got, man?
What up, though? It's the kid CL100, Chad Law. Currently just enjoying the triple threat cups. You know what I mean? Partaking in some black guy stuff at the moment. Elijah Rosario, Letter to My Love EP out right now. Go pick that up. Appreciate it. 3 songs. Support the gang. And we here to talk wrestling, fellas. It's been a very, very jam-packed week. You know what I mean?
It's been an interesting week.
Like, think about it. Like, Impact, New Japan, smoked it. Great shows right out the gate from the weekend, and we predicted that. We spent ample amount of time talking about that last episode, so I think we could definitely shine some light on both of those shows this week. You know what I mean? Like, great showing. Raw was hitting for me. SmackDown was hitting. Collision was hitting. Dynamite, maybe I got to rewatch again. But, I
think there's one thing this week taught us, and I think we could all agree on this, and it's that any one of us could probably be a credible threat to Samoa Joe's championship. I mean, any of us on this podcast, any of us 4 can probably get in the ring and pose one hell of a threat to Samoa Joe's title, because
when you look at the landscape, Bug, though,
man.
like, there really ain't, like, There ain't nobody that's gonna stop this guy, yo. I
Let
really
me
hope he
go.
has like that dominant reign as AEW heavyweight champion.
Oh,
The
he's a
title feels
monster.
like it's on the
I will
right
go on record and say I
person.
threw 5 stars at that match, Hook versus Samoa Joe. Perfect TV main event match.
It was a good
Very
match.
good TV main
Better than
event.
I thought it was gonna be.
It was definitely better than I thought it was going to be. It was
Definitely.
just some things I was like, come on. But yeah, no doubt. You're right. It wasn't bad.
I think it's fair. Like
I thought it was the
Samoa
internet.
Joe. Samoa Joe came out last week on Dynamite, first live appearance as the new champ when they was in Daly's place, and he said, "Look, you bring your record and you bring an argument to the championship committee, and then I'll bust your ass in the championship match."
Two things. I was dying because I was like, who the hell would even be the championship committee of this company? And two, if the championship committee was just Samoa Joe and you had to knock on his door and open the door and he
Right.
busts your ass right there, it's like,
Funny
that'd
as
be
hell.
mad fun. If it just says championship committee and it's just Joe right there, like, that's mad funny. That's the little follow-ups that I wish AEW would do. They do it. They do sometimes, but
Yeah, sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. But
Yeah.
I was cool with it, bro. Like I thought that shit was hard hitting that Uranagi into the table. Almost
Oh
broke
my
that
God.
man's face.
Man almost
that
died.
looked painful. Like,
Yeah. I loved it. I love Taz being like you get the tension in Taz's voice watching his baby boy get his ass beat.
taking the headphones off. He was in
Look
it.
at that. That's a world champ that restores the feeling right there. Look
Yo,
at that guy.
honestly,
No,
bro,
that's a
this is
fact.
the first time in quite some time the AEW world title feels like very important for a change. Like it's on a monster.
He's pretty much, and that's kind of what my gripe was. I feel like the only thing I could really pick apart was that Hook kicked out at 1. I guess after the onslaught that he got. I just feel like the kicking out at 1 thing is like weird when it's the guy's finishing move, but I respect it. I guess if they're gonna call back to it and it's not the last match and Hook's got his second rematch or whatever the situation is, it's cool. I just think that AEW's got to be a little careful because you can't have even our regular stoves at home. You're lucky you got 4 burners on it, right? So you got 4 things you could keep hot at once. Let's say. In wrestling, I don't even think you can keep that many things hot at once. Maybe you can within the same promotion, but it depends on how many championships you have. I just feel like we have Swerve heating up, and Swerve should be in that picture. We got now Hook introduced into the picture. I'm just not sure what they're going to do with that moving forward. But all in all, if I just compartmentalize the match, and like you said, it being a main event match on a television program, great show. Like it wasn't bad at all.
Right.
Let me take that from there, Bug. 2 things. I'll circle back to this with my Deonna Purrazzo prepped and cooked later. This is very great for Hook. But in true AEW fashion, we come to know that there is minimal follow-up when it comes to these big momentum things. Will Tony Khan break the trend and actually continue the heat? Or are we just going to see Hook on Rampage for the next rest of the couple of weeks after this? Because this was one of those performances. AO said 5 stars. My man ain't said 5 stars, you know what I'm saying, since the last time Ospreay might have had a match.
AO's really not like some kind of weird fanboy that just like throws shit out there either. So
but he's not alone though. There's a lot of people that are like, yo, that Hook match, like that was it. And I was just like, that was pretty good. That was like
I think it's good for Hook. I feel bad for Joe. Because even though we know Joe's a monster, again, I'm just saying that one piece, it's like, yo, now if that man does his finisher to somebody else, we're supposed to believe it after Hook kicked out at 1? Like, that's just the way I look at it. It's just...
Argument against that would be he hit him with the muscle buster and didn't immediately pin him. It took him about 8-9 seconds to get over to him. You know what I mean? Plus, the idea here is he hit him with the muscle buster, hit him with the choke, got the win. Hook still gets up. He's still talking shit. So what they're trying to do is show that Hook's probably one of the toughest guys pound for pound in that company. Which I think they succeeded
I
in
like
doing.
that.
Mighty Mouse maybe, like kind of, you know what I mean? Like, I don't know.
But I
is
just
it that?
don't
They're not
have
booking him as an underdog. I don't think...
Yeah.
Has Hook
I
ever
think
been
the
booked as the underdog?
Nah. He's
No,
only
I
lost
don't
one.
think so.
His
Yeah.
record is 29-2 now. So 29-2.
Right, which kind
I
of
don't
makes
think you
sense.
do anything with Hook immediately. I think you send Hook on excursion. Right.
Right.
The thing about that match is there's only two parts of Hook's game that I think need work. He has the aura, right? He has the pedigree as far as being Taz's kid. Clearly very athletic, clearly very skilled and trained in multiple mixed martial arts. He's still green. The timing in the ring from move to move and being able to read the crowd and know what to do next and where to be, because he's still pretty new to this business. So there's that part. And then he's not a guy that you need to have cut like long promos or anything. So I'll put promos to the side. But just understanding how to control his facial expressions. Sometimes he gets a little too much in that scrunchy, I'm mad tough. And he doesn't need to do that. He needs to be like, I'm from New York City, I don't give a fuck. He basically needs to be a very, very another version of Orange Cassidy.
Don't be a caricature. Yeah, exactly.
Exactly.
Like,
Orange Cassidy in a way of I just don't care. But now that I'm here, I'm gonna bust your ass.
You
but
know?
we know that he has that pedigree. But he needs to go to excursion. Like go, wrestle down in Mexico, go wrestle down on the Indies, go wrestle over in Japan or whatever, and just learn different styles without having that magnifying glasses on him right now.
And I'm not trying to compare you three gentlemen to Hook, but I'm just saying I have three folks on the podcast with me right now that are from New York, and none of y'all make that face. I don't know nobody from New York that makes that face. So it's like, that's what I'm saying. It's like, I understand the tough guy thing. Be believable. He does have that whole fan base where it's like, also like he honestly looks like an anime character. He could be inserted into like some kind of comic book and it would be like whatever, like, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, I think they have to be careful with booking him because I don't want to see them Jade Cargill Hook the way they Jade Cargill.
Right.
You saying Jade Cargill, she has more wins than Hook, and I'm just like, that's kind of wild. She's had more matches and more reps than Hook on television.
Right.
Like, oh shit.
and that's what I was kind of looking at once you mentioned Jay Cargill. That's where we kind of see with Hook because he was like, what was he, like 42-1 or something like that, somewhere in that range. So I think
now he's 29 and was he 29-2 now?
It's 29-2. Okay, so he has a large record. So
one of his losses was Jungle Jack, no?
I think one of his losses.
I can find it real quick.
Yeah, I think
that
it
was all in.
But so this was only going to be his second loss, and they definitely made him look larger in this second loss, and that was the way for him to get over. And then if you this is where I feel like you should bring back like the power rankings, because if this dude's like 29-1, then this dude should be in line for the title technically.
Well, that's what we got the Cope Open for on Saturdays.
Right.
That's definitely AEW's wink and nod. The rankings is the Cope Open.
Right.
On Collision.
But I'm talking about just like as far as just the numbers go. Like this guy has like almost an undefeated streak before that. So like I get with the Cope Open. It's like you trying to get these new guys to come in or whatever, like challenge.
Is wild, yo.
Pause, yeah, my bad. That was crazy. Definitely pause on that.
But I get what you're saying though. This is why I kind of feel like they should definitely bring back the power rankings and whatnot. So,
and while we finish D-Rod and Samoa Joe, pause, I pretty much would like to also add, take Samoa Joe out the fold and put another big man in that position with the heavyweight title. And none of them look as credible as Samoa Joe. Hobbs, Wardlow, Lance Archer, Miro maybe, but Miro is like so lukewarm that it's like, this ain't hold. This is a transitional reign.
None of these guys have that pedigree. Like Joe, I think since I've been watching wrestling, is top 5 credibility. Right, he changes the aura. The air changes. It doesn't matter who he's in the ring with. He was like standing toe to toe with Brock Lesnar, and at no point did I feel like Brock was going to eat him.
Nah, word. That's what I was about to say. Like, you could be a pit bull. Like, I feel like Miro's a pit bull. I feel like Brian Cage is a fucking something.
Oh my god! And then Brian Cage.
But all right. So let's just say Miro's a pit bull, right? I think even though Samoa Joe is smaller in stature, he's a fucking Presa Canario, and if you know what kind of dog that shit just like is a monster, and it like eats dogs. It's fucking ridiculous. Like Fat Joe, shouts out to Fat Joe, but Samoa Joe is fucking fire, yo. Like you said, he not only is he credible, he's reliable, he's consistent. Okay. I know we said this about who did we say this about before? But Samoa Joe is fucking Jadakiss. There's a lot of people that are Jadakiss, but he's really consistent.
But I was Sami Zayn before.
It was Sami Zayn, but there's a lot of guys that can be that. I feel like
Joe-a-kiss.
Samoa Joe is
Samoa
also
Kiss.
Sidebar.
I think Samoa Joe actually listens to Jadakiss, which is a plus. So.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Sidebar. I actually
he was at Wale Mania last year.
He was.
on
was.
stage
Which
rapping
we will also be there this year. Shouts out
in the
to us.
billing.
Oh,
Absolutely.
I had a thought that Sami Zayn won't be at WrestleMania, or he won't have a meaningful program at WrestleMania, and he's going to be at the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. Scary thought when you look at Sami Zayn from where he was last year. Not even by his fault.
Oof.
Yeah,
Sammy got to finish the story.
Oh Jesus!
That was going to be one of my topics. I might circle back to that. We'll see. I still got my Trios Championship topic later, but yeah, I just
Clean
thought
up
about
this,
that.
wrap up this hook and Joe. Yeah, to answer the question of who his one loss was, it was at Blood and Guts. He lost to Jack Perry.
Mm-hmm.
It was at a Blood and Guts. This was back in TD Garden in Boston.
Wasn't like the hardcore match or something like that.
It was in July last year.
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, it was an FTW match, so it was like all no holds bar kind of vibe.
Right,
But yeah,
so-
send him over the excursion. I see that you got a bunch of news here, Mr. Law. But before we get to that, big ass piece of news just broke within the last hour. Some people might have been seeing it happening.
What
seeing
Vince
it coming.
McMahon do?
What happened? Vince back?
Nah, Vince ain't back.
Just messing with you.
Vince ain't back. The Young Bucks are rocking Vince's mustache though.
Nah, they rocking
Okada.
I told you, they're straight up Pink Panther villains. That's what they look like.
New Japan Pro Wrestling officially announced that Kazuchika Okada, will be leaving New Japan Pro Wrestling as of January 31st. A lot of people saw this coming because, as far as like in the rumor mill, he hired Barry Bloom, who's been pro wrestling agent for the last however many decades. He does the deals, and he also filed a trademark for the Rainmaker within use of pro wrestling in the United States. But this is the first actual confirmation from either Okada or New Japan that he's out. So they announced that earlier. He has 3 dates left: February 11th, which is my birthday, February 23rd, February 24th. Those are his last 3 scheduled
in
dates
Aquarius,
in New Japan. Bro? Yes, sir.
Shouts out to water signs across the world. You know what
I
I'm
mean,
saying?
water bearer and this bit it did itch.
Ditto.
But yeah, Okada's out of here. Breaking
Yeah.
news.
Very.
I'm shocked. I kind of feel like he was going to swerve and just be like, yo, back to New Japan I go.
Guess he just
And that was
wants
not
to
the
try.
case.
Guess he want to try it somewhere new. You know what I'm saying? How long has he been in New Japan? It's been there for a minute, man.
His whole career. He's
His whole
30,
career.
34, 35, somewhere around
Minus
there.
the
Now-
TNA excursions.
Yeah.
It was him that was in TNA, and he was like chubby and shit, and they were shitting on him, and he wasn't utilized properly. Is that? Am I bugging out here? Is this accurate?
Kind of, sort of. They put him as like the Green Lantern. Not the Green Lantern, but like his little Asian sidekick homie. Green Hornet.
Yo, Chad, am I bugging? Is your shit like zooming in? And
I was
zooming out?
just looking
Yeah,
at
it is.
that.
It is.
Am I all right, yo?
No, it's just the way the camera is in the iPad. It should just move.
This guy, this
Those
gobstopper
guys
is fire. Bro.
Chad's over
I
there.
ain't realize.
His square is directed by Hype Williams.
Shouts out to the Connect. Yo, his
Cameo.
square. Just his square though. That's it. Just that one. Yo, matter of fact, shit
Yeah,
is so rough out here.
just his square.
We gotta pay for effects in our individual squares. Like that's just how life is nowadays. Like
Nah, that's
Yeah,
a fact.
super dope.
Yeah.
Yeah, my filters are only for my square. Boog's light
Bring
budget
your-
is out of. Yeah, Boog's
Yo,
light
bring-
budget is insane.
bring your own effects is like the most ridiculous shit.
Man, I
Bring
blew-
your own
BYOE.
effects.
Listen,
Bring
I
your
blew-
own effects to the
Hey,
event.
listen, I blew my budget on do-rags.
Yeah,
You ain't even got the Dewey on though tonight, man. You ain't got the Dewey tonight.
Nah, I'm chilling tonight.
What
Cape
you
is off
gotta
tonight.
pick a night a week to wash them shits. They're probably hanging out drying in the other room right now. What the fuck, bro?
Nah, Ron, you gotta cash that Dewey in the bank.
That's crazy.
Yo, watch out, yo. Hey, listen, watch out a Royal Rumble.
Dewey
You know what
in
I'm
the
saying?
bank is insane.
Dewey in the bank is
Doing-
insane.
Dewey in the bank. Yo, we gotta have a Dewey in the bank tournament, yo.
Hey, listen, watch out at Royal Rumble, bro. Might try to be a double
Dewey in
champion. You know what I mean?
The cartoon is literally just Ron holding a briefcase. He's got the do rag and the briefcase and the do rag too.
Fucking amazing.
Yo, man.
What you got, Chad?
Seth Rollins, Seth freaking Rollins, injury, buy or sell. How we feeling about it? It's happened after the Jinder Mahal slaughter. Pretty much, they're saying that Seth might be, hush hush. He might be making it to Mania. He might not. I don't know, man. these are all reports right now. You can go online, Wrestling News, Wrestling Inc. Everyone's kind of being very secretive. The last I read is that they're those closest to Seth is not saying anything in regards to it. So
Yeah.
everyone's keeping it very hush hush. So I guess we'll find out on Raw what happens from here. But real quick, are we buying or selling it? Is this typical workhorse injured Seth, or is this like, oh, we might have a new champion soon?
Well, I'll say I can't call it. All I know is that I read that they took him out for events for this coming weekend. They said it was like a knee injury, and he's had a knee injury before that. He was out for a very long time, so I know they're not gonna play about that. So if it is serious, then yeah, he needs to get his rest. And WrestleMania season is around, so you know.
He's going on a Kenny Omega run of injuries, of like compiling the injuries that have like outlasted, like how MJF, like he's really doing his champion runs right now. Like
Mm,
Roman has the best schedule of like, yo, I could just, man, I'm working out. I'm gonna take 3 months off, heal my body. Seth really is actually active in the field every week on Raw and pay per view. So if
mm,
these are serious injuries, I absolutely hope he takes the time off and gets right. But hey, the world title has to be defended at some point, right?
absolutely, yeah.
I'm buying the injury. I watched the match live. He hit a moonsault or some shit off the top rope. As soon as he landed, he reached for his knee, and it looked like he couldn't put like real weight on his knee for the rest of the match. So it
Whenever I
looked
see
legit.
people do those flips, like those moonsaults, or like who does the flip? Which one of those lucha flippy guys does the flip? Commander. He did the flip, like a 360, 630 flip, and it lands on his feet when the person gets up. It's like
Hmm.
I think about like, yo, that impact on your knees as you're landing.
Catches
Yeah,
up, man.
he
Oh,
does that
God.
like 2 to 3 times a week.
Yeah,
It's
catches
crazy.
up.
We have more breaking news here, folks. This is funny as fuck, yo.
What happened?
Like, this might be. I
Conway
might have
sent
to
the song.
Nah, I might have to spotlight myself. Hold on, let me get rid of the graphics. Give me a second. That's how funny this is.
While Boog is
Golly,
getting the graphics together, I'd like to take this time to say fuck ringside news.
Wow, what happened?
bro, this is a
I don't know, just
real
fuck him.
Tony Khan. This is a real Tony Khan tweet. This
What does
says
that say?
is Marlo Stanfield. First of all, Tony Khan posting Marlo Stanfield,
He's actually watching this right now. He's watching
and
that.
it's a GIF that says "My name is my name."
Yo,
Like, this is real life. Tony David Khan, or whatever his middle name is.
He's
But
actually
his face is
watching this
David.
same scene and was like, you know what?
I mean, you could just
I'm
put
feeling
Pusha T
it.
there.
Yo, what is this guy's Twitter
The
life
man
about,
is
yo?
is amazing on Twitter.
Yeah, I want
Doesn't
to.
need to be stopped.
I'm gonna.
Don't
check
stop
this
him.
out.
Pause.
Don't stop him.
Nah, don't.
Black
Wow.
Taurus has signed with AEW. Those know he is familiar with the Impact TNA crowd, AAA, the Lucha side of things. He had formal tag team with Crazy Steve. He's now joining the AEW Lucha ranks, where this leads, hopefully not a destination stay on Rampage.
Listen, give us Gringo Loco, or we don't give a fuck. That's what I'm talking about.
Yo, I knew you'd take a liking to Gringo Loco, yo. He's going to get over at some point. Him and Blue
That's
Cane
my
are going to
guy.
get over to the national scene at some point.
He
Gringo
looks like
Loco's
Road
the man.
Dog.
Yo,
He looks
Gringo
like
Loco's
Road
dope.
Dogg's son, and he wrestles like Rey Mysterio. What's not to like about that guy? Like, come on now.
Gringo, the bass god, Gringo Loco.
He was at that last HOG event.
Yeah,
Put in work.
yeah, killed
man.
it.
Killed that shit.
I like Black Taurus. The thing with him, I think he has to. I think it's AAA owns that trademark, so he has to change his name.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I like
But
Black.
That'll be interesting.
Black Taurus is fire. Like I've seen him
Didn't
in matches
AAA
with,
just
Vikingo,
announce a partnership with someone too?
with TNA,
TNA.
which is weird. Like they've been working with TNA, but they officially announced the partnership because
But they had the real small envelope, so you know it was serious, though. It's not like the big fake bullshit. You know what I'm saying? It was like
yeah.
you know what I mean? It was like, all right, this looks like it was pretty intimate. I get you.
I'm with it. Like we'll see where it goes. We'll see where it goes. But yeah, Black Taurus, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I was impressed with him in that match with Vikingo, man, because I didn't see him do none of that in TNA unless I just missed the particular matches. But Black Taurus went off with those 2 matches with Vikingo. So yeah, Black Taurus, man, I'm glad to see him.
Fucking with it. Camille was backstage at AEW as well. Buy or sell on Camille joining AEW or WWE now that she's not with NWA?
I don't know.
Camille's mad tall, so if she was backstage, I don't think anybody was lying. They probably really saw her. You feel me? That's just my take on it.
Yeah, I can't. I've heard there's NXT on the table. I heard that she was backstage at AEW last night. Can't call it. I'd like to see her on TV. Like, period. I think like she did. Not regularly watching NWA, but remembering when
Shout to
NWA
us.
was first getting, no doubt, was first getting it popping on YouTube.
605 Live, baby.
She was killing
was
it
there.
back then. So if she's on
was
TV, I'm here for it. If she, I think whoever grabs her can't lose. You know what I mean? I haven't
agree.
seen her anytime recently to be able to call like how she actually is compared to how she was. Like, how is she improved? Is she any different? I heard that her voice don't really match her. You know what I mean? But
No, it don't. But she's got an 800-something day title reign. She's got stats. She's got matches. She's got credible wins.
Okay.
she's got a hell of a presence.
Hell of a presence. So whether she ends up in WWE or AEW, it's a hell of a get for somebody, regardless.
Facts.
So definitely will be.
Wait, what the
Will
fuck does she
Ospreay.
sound like?
It's
I
like
heard
the
her
China
voice
effect.
is like super, like really, really high.
It's like the China effect.
Yeah,
Like, you don't think China's gonna sound like that until
To
like, oh,
she
she
actually
sounds.
speak.
It sounds like
Yeah.
China.
yeah.
Yeah,
Like
that's-
the
yeah,
like
that's
the
high
Mike
pitch.
Tyson thing. You know what I mean? Like
Mhm.
your voice
Oh.
is up here, but
Oh.
you look like your voice should be right here. You know what I mean?
Should be on some dog whistle shit. Gotcha.
Like if her and
Dog
Jordan
voice.
Grace switched voices in bodies, like it would work.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Type
Oh,
shit.
no, I gotta check it out.
Yeah, I don't think I've never heard her voice, so if it's not the case, I mean, you can work around that. She can get a valet or something. You know what
I
I'm
don't
saying?
think it's a
Go
knack.
from-
It's not a knock on her. I'm just
Nah.
Right.
it's fucking
Yeah,
weird.
right.
That's all.
Just put it out.
It's not a knock.
Yeah.
It's a cool little attribute.
TNA, they back, y'all. Hard to Kill with
Yeah.
slamming. Great pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Will Ospreay and Josh Alexander 2 tonight on Impact. Nick Nemeth
clap it
making
up.
his TNA debut.
Let's clap it up for TNA for stepping up and being a credible company, folks. I think
100%,
I think they did a damn good
100%,
job.
100%.
Oh,
Great-
facts,
great
facts, man.
presentation.
That was a dope pay-per-view.
Really, really good show all
Very
across
fun
the
pay-per-view.
board. That was their largest gate since fucking
Years, like
2016.
08 or some shit.
I like the-
for a minute.
I
Minute,
like the
bro.
I like the arena. Well, I like the arena they were in.
It looked like the same arena to me. I was like, this is just different color ring ropes.
Really?
Listen, man,
No, it's a little
these
different.
chicks-
There was
Yeah.
some shit in Vegas. It's like a couple of the angles were a little different. Like I thought it was
You
fresh.
see how
Yeah.
these-
It was a good show.
You see how these chicks be turning up people's parties with a couple of balloons and little, doodads and little setups. It's about
Yes, they do
goddamn
that.
time TNA made that shit look good, because it's not really that hard to, with the LED lighting that we have going on and the technology we have nowadays. You can make a little go a long way, and I feel like that setup was just fire. And the yellow ropes, for whatever reason, like threw
shit
me
pop.
back to like old WCW days when like Baywatch
Mm-hmm.
was on TNT before
They pop.
Nitro came on and shit. It was just some old school dope looking shit.
I did like that. Glad no six-sided ring.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, fact, yeah.
I am so
What's
over
that?
LED
Oh.
lights. It's too much.
No,
It's too many
yeah,
LEDs.
no.
Too much.
Event
was a good
last
show.
color vibes.
I was watching tonight. I cut the feed off just before Ospreay and Alexander started, because I want to sit and actually watch that shit. But Nick Nemeth came out. He cut his promo. He was interrupted by who did I say earlier?
Steve Macklin.
Steve Macklin.
He came out during the pay-per-view and made his presence felt with the new the new TNA champ Moose. So we'll see. He came out. He had the T-shirt on. I don't know if that means he's officially signed an exclusive contract with them or not. He still has some dates here and there. He's doing Australia. He's doing New Japan. So, but I'm looking forward to, again, just anything fresh. Nick Nemeth is one of them dudes that what he can do in the ring. He just was never, once he had that concussion, he was like the gatekeeper at that point. If you can have a good match with Dolph Ziggler, then we'll see what you can do.
He's been
So now,
great
let's-
since. He
And
hasn't had any
speaking-
injuries.
That was also kind of what Steve Macklin alluded to, not to spoil anything, not really a spoiler, but Steve Macklin came out and he says, yo, you've been really giving and giving and giving and giving, and I know that you want to kind of change the perception about you, and that's why you're over here in TNA. You're over here in TNA to take, and TNA is my sandbox, and I'm not going to let you do that. So now we immediately got a little bit of conflict with him. I'm
It's
here
gonna
for the
be a
Steve
good.
Macklin. Yeah, Steve Macklin.
Bro, I
moment.
said it. I said on wax, Nick Nemeth will be a TNA World Heavyweight Champion, and look at what's unfolding before our very eyes. That man's winning at Bound for Glory, damn near, yo. It's gonna be a Nick Nemeth summer in TNA, and I hope that's enough for now. I don't know. There's not too many people that are out in the free market agency, so I think the roster sign-ins, like unless Okada makes the big jump, I think we're good where we're at right now. All lines are drawn, if you ask me.
Nah, yo, we still need Elijah to land somewhere.
That's true. That's true. Let's see. We got
What do we got for
JBL and
topics, or are we
NXT.
still in news? You're still in news? My bad.
I'm about to wrap up with the news. I just had JBL and NXT, and the ratings went down. So I just thought that was kind of a music headline.
It went down after he came on, or it just went down in general?
In general, JBL was on, and the ratings went down. In NXT, I was like, "Damn, that's a crazy headline."
That's fire.
Well, damn, that sucks, man.
That is a wicked headline. He's there helping Josh Briggs.
Yeah, I peeped that. Yeah.
He's trying to help Josh Briggs find the wrestling god in him. So I think that might have been why. And because it was a cheesy babyface JBL promo, I think that's why it was terrible, because it wasn't wrestling god heel JBL. It was just like,
I was like, I'm going to encourage this guy
Yes.
to be like me, I guess, or be the guy or whatever. I get it, but
NXT's a little cold right now. They got to wrap this fucking Mellow and Trick shit up. Oh, man, they got to wrap this up.
yeah, that shit is gonna go until that
Till the WrestleMania.
Yeah, I was about to say some things are gonna happen during this Dusty Rose Classic. Some other things are gonna unfold. You already seen some things now, and then Homie is about to get his title shot at Vengeance Day.
It is insane that they are dog walking us all through this whole segment, because Trick is about to get a title shot the same night he's got to do the Dusty Classic with Mello. It's like hysterical to me. I'm like, oh, you guys are just ready to lay this whole shit out. Like, the only swerve I can see is if they don't do the swerve.
Right, when then Melo's gonna be super pissed off.
Right, you'll be even more mad. Like, yo, this guy really just came through and won. Like, I don't see Trick being a double champion in the same night, but to pop the ratings after the JBL appearance, yo, Trick being a double champion after Vengeance Day is kind of that's a surprise right there.
Yeah, I don't see that as yet. I just see
yeah, I don't even see that.
I don't even see that. And there's nothing on Trick. Like, Trick is hot right now, but
Trick is the worst babyface. Like, lovable babyface, but he's an idiot. Like, he is really he's like Eugene levels of idiot when it comes to
you're not seeing your man is jealous of you. He does not really want
Eugene
you to win.
Alone,
like,
fam.
Yo, it shouts to Eugene.
I can't say everybody. If you know Eugene, you know why.
But on a Thursday night, you're gonna shoot at Eugene. What the fuck is he doing to you, bro?
Yo, Nick Dinsmore. Crazy. You don't know Nick Dinsmore, man. It don't matter. You don't know you don't know the man behind Eugene. It's cool.
Man, free Eugene, dog. Free Eugene.
Yeah, man.
Fuck.
Wherever he may be.
Prepped and cooked. Let's get right to it. You know what I'm saying? Do the topics.
All right.
What up?
Prep for this week. I know y'all gonna probably torch me for this. Deonna Purrazzo, you are being prepped, ladies and gentlemen. Yes, I said it. I said it.
Shit.
I said it.
You know what?
I'm on wax. I'm saying it. I was there, yo. I was in the trenches in TNA. Deonna Purrazzo is definitely being prepped right now. You know why she's being prepped? Because she's gonna have this filler feud with Mariah May and Toni Storm. Toni Storm's gonna steamroll over her. Then Deonna's gonna end up on Rampage. And then she's going to form a tag team with Taya. And then she's going to have returning to AEW Collision, Deonna Purrazzo, 4 months from now. And it's crazy because...
And then be exclusive to ROH.
There we go, Boog. There we go.
Yo, no lie. Yo, Chad, when you put this in the notes...
Do you not see her and Taya Valkyrie having a tag team by the summertime? Come on.
Taya Valkyrie... When you posted that in the notes, I know
y'all was probably like, this nigga is wild.
but then I thought about it. I was like, I know he's thinking like 3 months in ahead, because you're already having her. Well, we already know she's not winning the title at Revolution, so you're already shooting her too high. So after that, she's going to kind of go low, and I figured Tony Khan's not going to know what to do with her after that. So
a tag team.
Baker.
A tag team with Ty or Serena Deeb is most likely inevitable. When she said the wrestling, the best technical wrestler or whatever the fuck last night, I was like, Serena Deeb's gonna pop up here at some point. But
Right.
that whole segment alone, I was just like, yo, Toni Storm is about to dog walk her this whole time. Down to throwing the shoe, making her laugh, like being more over than Deanna, like everything. Like
It's like
everything.
you kind of making it hot a little too fast. You kind of want like a
She's
build up.
eclipsing. Fuck the hot. She's eclipsing Deanna Purrazzo. Like I actually watched all of Toni Storm down to like her commentary, like everything she was saying. Like it was just like this. She's actually really fucking good in this role right now.
She's really.
Don't take the
entertaining
title
for
off
sure.
her. Don't take
That
the
segment
title
was
off
funny
Toni
as hell
Storm.
too. I like that. That segment was dope.
So, fellas, what say you? Y'all agree? Deanna Purrazzo, she's prepped. I didn't say she's cooked. I just said she's on the way to being sizzled.
If you were going in that direction, I can definitely see that. Exactly what I just said. Like I'm probably just gonna stay with that. Yeah. So she could be. It could be prep if they're shooting for that direction. Because if you know you're not winning that title, then I don't know if Tony Khan's gonna know what to do with it after that. For I guess a tag team or whatever. Nah, he's gonna kind of go low with it. You know what I'm saying? Or go medium with it. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. So that because when you put that, I was like, I knew that's exactly what he was thinking. Like you shouldn't have too high right now. It's no build up. It's like she just got signed 2 weeks ago, 3 weeks ago.
Fam, when Taya debuted and she didn't win the TNT title, I was like, I don't believe this anymore. I don't believe any of these new debuts are gonna have a shot in the women's division, unless you're Mercedes. Yeah. Like even if you're Mercedes, you know. What y'all think? Agree? Disagree?
You play advocate of the devil here. Does taking the title off of Toni Storm change the fact that she is the best character in that division? Still the hottest? Does she need the world title?
Nah, I think that gives her a new axe to grind in her character, so that would be funny if she lost the title, to be honest.
100%. She's in this character because of losses and losing her mind and falling into insanity. So if we get to Revolution, and by that time we still have Deanna Purrazzo coming off of killing it in TNA as their face and then beating Toni Storm, doesn't hurt Toni Storm. In fact, it gives us something interesting to look at. Toni Storm doesn't need that world title because she's one of the few that has a character that is so far above a championship that it really doesn't matter. It's a prop.
I don't think Deanna Purrazzo is prepped just to pull Chad's
Neither do I,
question.
by the way.
But I do think that we do, again, just like we have to be careful with Hook and booking them like Jade Cargill, I feel like we need to be careful booking Deanna Purrazzo, Toni Storm, all these people, because, you know, there's some really interesting story. The thing about AEW that really makes me so upset is there's so many different, like, tentacles, if you want to call it that, where you could pick one of them and make a story, but they just sometimes don't pick any of them, and it's like, what the fuck are you doing? But if you don't recall, maybe you guys remember when Toni Storm first got the AEW title, she was the interim champion because Thunder Rosa was out of here, right?
She was the punk rocker. She was the punk rock new chick with no gimmick.
There was a whole lot of shit going on, and she wasn't really. And her and Britt both talking shit back behind the scenes. She was upset that she was the interim champion. Why can't I just be the champion? It doesn't make sense. Why do I have to be interim? I think it would be a great story to have Thunder Rosa take that belt from her again. I don't know if Thunder Rosa's even heated up enough to get that title. I think she's just more of a collision person right now. It seems like, but. Yeah, I have no idea, man. I think they have to figure out what they're doing over there. But yeah, Deanna's not prepped to me. I think she's just got to get her footing, and they got to figure out what the fuck they're doing with her. But yeah.
I'm going to go out on a limb and say, like, if that's the match, because it looks like we're going for Purrazzo and Toni Storm at Revolution, I think it's a good move to have Purrazzo beat Toni Storm. She comes in, she's dominant, she's credible. She was a former world champion over in TNA. Technically sound. I'm speaking about her later during my topic, and Toni Storm doesn't lose anything. In fact, it gives her, like you said, her character another wrinkle and something to play with. So,
at this point, Toni Storm is Jon Moxley. She doesn't have to have a championship, and she could lose championships and lose matches, and no one's gonna think anything.
That character is that good.
She got over real fast and like real hard.
I agree.
Mm-hmm. I ended up putting a topic in the notes too, Ron. I think you got one. Who's next? Is AO's topic?
Oh, I was just gonna let me finish the cook. Let me just
He
hit
got
this
the
real
cook,
quick.
and
My
then I got my topic.
I keep trying to
Cook
get out of
this week.
Chad's lane. My bad.
Nah, you good, you good. Cook this week.
Swerving while you drive.
Cook this week. Pentagon by association with Commander. Former world heavyweight champion, multiple time champion across many different Hispanic promotions, former AEW tag team champion, trios champion. Pentagon suffers another L on Dynamite. And again, Commander doesn't win. So him just being associated because Phoenix is having whatever's going on behind the scenes drags Pentagon further down. Alexander Hamber is running and jumping around like an idiot. I'm just waiting for him to get speared by somebody. And otherwise,
Yo, that's
Pentagon,
2 votes. I'm not a fan of Abrahantes, man. I don't know why.
yeah. I'm going to go with Cook this week because I looked at a lot of the matches. I looked at all the matches, and everyone that rightfully lost, they pretty much are where they are. But Pentagon is like, he is cooked, yo. Like this week and probably moving forward, and if you combine the previous, he's cooked. Absolutely. Fellas, what say you?
Yeah. I mean, that association with Commander's here to eat losses. Like, Commander isn't winning. He's at least, at the very least, not winning an AEW championship. And I highly doubtful that he wins a Ring of Honor championship. So, I don't know. I saw somebody post something along the lines of, like, I don't know, you got to save the Lucha Bros or some bullshit. That's not the case. Like, on some shoot shit, I also saw somebody that's much more familiar with like Lucha Libre promotions and CMLL and AAA than I. It's like these guys ain't really out here politicking for titles and spots and wins as much as we want to make sure that the fucking ink is dry and the contract hits. So as far as booking goes, it could be a sense of I'm not in here advocating for myself to win anything. I'm just want to make sure that I'm booked and paid. So from that standpoint on the shoot, it could be that. I don't know. I ain't backstage. But as far as kayfabe wise, yeah, man, like Commander isn't winning anytime soon. Penta misses that combination with Ray Phoenix. So until Ray Phoenix comes back and they team back up as the Lucha Bros, they ain't winning.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna go in that same vein as well. Yeah, because he's been kind of down and out since he's been with Commander. I think Pentagon could have been. He's fine by himself because he's good in a tag team and in singles. It could have been where we saw Ray Phoenix out there on Dynamite. You could have had him manage Pentagon or something until he comes back, like in a singles competition or something like that. Could have booked it like that instead of being with Commander. That's just me. So yeah, I'll go with he's suffering a little bit.
Man, we had our ups and downs. Remember the tournament they had? They were stabbing each other with screwdrivers and doing all kinds of shit. There's just been so many different versions of these guys in AEW. I just don't know like where we're going with them. So in that sense, I would say cooked, because there's so many other people now that are viable like suitors for these championships that they could be running for. Like, even if you don't have a trios competitor, you could come up with strange bedfellows, trios, champions, or teams that you could put together that would be interesting to be viable credits for those championships as well. So I will say, unfortunately, Pentagon finds himself, and what's his face, Commander, find themselves in the putty category. They're just putties right now. It's like that's really all it is. They're just running around fucking doing nothing. Like, what the fuck are they doing? Like, no
Shouts
one
to
really
the guy
knows.
Zordon.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? Zordon and what the fuck was homeboy's name? Goldar. That was my guy. Rangers. Yeah, he was a piece of shit. Never mind. But anyway, yeah. So shouts out to Pentagon. Great wrestlers. Ray Phoenix still in my mind is one of the greatest wrestlers in the world, if not the greatest wrestler in the world when he's out there. And that's for a non-lucha fan saying that. So like for me to say that, it's crazy, but he's insane, really, really good. But yeah, his brother gotta probably settle down a little bit.
Yeah.
I don't know if we want to see it.
But it's just no direction right now with him. It's just like whatever.
So we split on Deanna.
Shit,
we all agree on
crazy
that.
shit is though, these guys could get out of AEW, take a break, like how WWE had like their minor leagues. They had OVW, they had all CZW, whatever they had back in the day, right? And it's like, if AEW had their own version of that, or they just let guys go run the indies for a little bit and then come back, get themselves hot and come back, it would be like dope. Like if Penta just started doing house shows, and I don't know, he probably is. Maybe he's doing live events and he's doing shit, on the indie circuit too. But just to get yourself fucking hot again, bro. Just step away from the television screen, because sometimes too much exposure is no good. You got to throw some sunscreen on.
I don't know. I think like with Pena, I think his act is so solidified that he would, if he goes and hits, because they do wrestle a lot on the indies. I think they got a little spot over in Cali. Like they do a lot of indie work, but for him to get hot on the indies at this point, like I think we've seen everything that they do in ring. We've seen the character, so there would have to be a drop. I mean, think about how long ago Lucha Underground was, and that was for a lot of people the first time that they saw him, and then the TNA as far as
you just
TV.
made
So
a
I
great
think it
point.
would have to be
Yo,
something.
Finn, I first saw Pentagon win the TNA World Title, and I was like, "Who is this guy?
Exactly.
Who the fuck was this dude?"
So
Would you say-
before I pass it though, like so it would have to be something drastic. That's what I think is. Well, you know what? Go ahead.
I was just gonna say, would you say the Lucha Bros are like the dunk contest then? It's like we've seen
Special
everything we could
attractions?
possibly see. No,
Yeah.
like we've seen everything we could possibly see. How many more dunks can you come up with? So it's like their style
I think
of matches.
we know they play the hits, and I think as long as the crowd reacts and they sell merchandise, they don't need to do anything else. So I think when you get into that position, plus you're not advocating for yourself to do much more than what you're already doing, you're gonna get like hot and cold moments. Like years, however long we've been doing this show, I've been saying I'd love to see Ray do his own thing and Penn do his own thing.
Which
The
I thought
bottom
was going to
line-
happen with him being international champion for 2
I did for a second as well. The bottom line is it just might not be in the cards, and that's cool, right? That's fine. I think like them having an act as over as it is, it'd be different if they went out there and it's crickets. It's never crickets. Everybody's chanting Seto Meadow. Everybody's chanting when they do their moves and all that. So, again, like booking wise, sure. Like they're just gonna kind of win and lose and kind of be there. But anytime they're on the show, I'm definitely not using the bathroom when Penn is on or when Ray Phoenix is
No,
on. So,
agreed. Crazy enough, yo, I feel like in another universe, they'd be amazing in NXT. Ron might agree with me on that one. I think Penta and Ray Phoenix would be outstanding in NXT, yo.
They will definitely stand out.
They have the capabilities of being the NXT Tag Team Champions, the North American Champion, and the World Heavyweight Champion all at the same time in NXT. Like, that's a stat that I feel like you can't say that about damn near any tandem in wrestling. Like, I could look at Penta and Ray Phoenix and be like, yo, if they were in the NXT system doing the Seto Meadow with that crowd, like, yo, they would be on fire. Like, Dragon Lee would be like, nah, I'm coming back to NXT. Fuck the SmackDown shit. I'm going back here.
I think you get that same feeling when like Samoa Joe and like Adam Cole were there, like those, like all those guys, and like just bring that feeling back in NXT. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying?
That's what I was kind of trying to get at
What a
with
surprise.
the indie shit. Like if they were to go somewhere like NXT, they would be like fucking MOP.
It'd be a
like you
big
said.
deal,
Would,
bro.
like, bring a bunch of
It'd be a
energy.
big
Yeah,
deal.
for sure.
but it would have to be on another TV show. If they just go and do their shit on the indies, it's not gonna get them hotter than where they are. They would have to be on another TV show like WWE or NXT or some shit. Even going back to TNA would be kind of fresh for a second, Work.
Something just different. Yeah.
Where we have the next topic.
Check this out. So before I delve into my topic, I want to run through some of the matches that y'all might be interested in that are coming up in New Japan, seeing as how I'm the correspondent. They got a show tomorrow. Tamatanga versus Evil is the main event. That's the never open weight title, United Empire Bullet Club. But on February 11th, New Beginning in Osaka. That is Will Ospreay's last New Japan match. And it's a 5-on-5 cage match. Basically, Bullet Club versus his crew, United Empire. That's his last contracted match in New Japan. And it's the first time they've had a steel cage in New Japan in like fucking 20 years or some shit like that. That's going to be fire. Plus, that Zack Sabre Jr. versus Bryan Danielson, too. I'll be watching live, you heard? Then they got the Fantastic Mania tour. That's when they kind of collab with CMLL. So a lot of the guys, Lucha guys from CMLL, come over. They wrestle back and forth. That's a little tour in the middle of February. The next big show happens on the 23rd, 24th. That's the New Beginning in Sapporo. That's when Nick Nemeth, who we spoke about earlier, he's challenging David Finlay for that new IWGP Global Heavyweight Championship. We got Matt Riddle making his not his debut. He was just wrestling over the weekend, but he's in there against Tanahashi for that TV championship that Tanahashi just beat Zack for. The next day, the world champion Tetsuya Naito, Los Ingobernables, shit like that, he's defending Sonata for his rematch against that championship. And the last big show that y'all might be interested in goes all the way to April, Windy City Riot. That's in Chicago. Jon Moxley called out Tetsuya Naito, who again is the current champ. Right now it's just listed as a match. If Naito retains against Sonata, maybe a couple matches here and there, Mox will be competing for that world championship. And then Mustafa Ali makes his New Japan debut against Hiromu Takahashi, who he called out over the weekend. Shit like that.
Excellent enunciation from AO. AO Saka himself.
Yeah, I can't do what you do. I can't do what you do. You just be out here wilding. I'll be trying to fucking catch the mutes and shit, and it ain't fast enough. So
nah, but if we get the wild New Japan music for you, bro, to intro and exit that segment, it'll be great, like some Sports Center shit.
Facts. There's some fire matches that are coming up. They probably announced more. They killed it over the weekend and all
Yo,
that.
bro, Jon Moxley
Tap in.
had a better match than Will Ospreay and Okada, in my opinion.
Because it was designed to be that. Like that match against Takagi. First of all, we got to put respect on Takagi's name. Former world champion. He was number 9 in the PWI 2021. Like, he's a real deal dude, right? And his whole thing was both of them, like, after Wrestle Kingdom, he wanted to get back on the winning horse. He lost his championship. I think he lost to Tama Tonga, if I'm not mistaken. He had the never open weight. So the main thing is I want to get back on the horse. I see Jon Moxley. I don't see Jon Moxley around these parts often. I want to challenge you. Not only do I want to challenge you, I want to face you in one of your type of matches. And he went out there and fucking bled buckets, and it was fire.
That was insane.
Great match. I think the match with Okada, if you know the history of Okada and Ospreay, this match was basically just an exhibition. There really wasn't much at stake because that was Ospreay's last singles match. But the story is Ospreay came into New Japan because of Okada. 2015, Okada was over in England wrestling at Rev Pro and just really fucked with Ospreay and brought him over. And he was part of his crew, Chaos, until Ospreay turned on him and shit like that. So they got a lot of history that they didn't really play into, at least in the match, because it was really just designed to be an exhibition match.
Do you know what? And because that backstory like that of being an exhibition, I felt like it should have ended earlier than it did. Like, I felt like it just went on too long, and that's why I felt like the Moxley match was better, because they had so many false finishes, and then they kept going. Like, still had they had the OD false finish setup, and then they just had another match like right after that whole setup, and it was just like, oh shit,
I can see that.
This is gonna be a while, but quality match nonetheless. And I think this is
a dope
why
match. I just think there really wasn't anything at stake there.
I think this is why Okada goes to AEW. We're gonna see the rest of this feud.
It's interesting. I've been
Buckle
seeing
up,
that
fellas.
The reason that they've been booking, I've seen talks or heard conversation that the reason that they've been trying to put a little bit more effort in Shinsuke over in WWE is to let the potentially incoming Japanese talent, like Julia, who's been rumored to go, like Okada, who's a free agent.
But what is Okada doing in NXT? You think Okada's NXT?
No, I'm not. No, absolutely not. I think he goes straight to the roster. No, I think he goes straight to the roster because he has a little bit more of a cachet than Julia does. I think Julia doesn't really have the cachet, so there's going to be more people that probably know who Okada is than would Julia, even in kayfabe. You know what I mean? She's the Stardom, the New Japan champ right now. Pardon me, been Stardom and all that, but they're not on the same. They don't have the viewership. You know what I mean?
Think all of this Shinsuke heat up, lose matches, heat up, lose matches?
I'm not saying I think that. I'm just saying that
kayfabe only. It could be. Could it be a reason?
I can't kayfabe. We're talking about the booking, but the booking itself. What was Shinsuke doing that had anybody talking before they started giving him the manga graphics and the translation and the feud with Seth? We was just out here, this nigga's washed. And now they gave him something. Even though he's losing all these matches, at least it looks like he's of some.
Looks like premium losses. Like, you're losing this
loss is a loss, but a loss is a loss, but people talk about it. That's the difference.
Is this a reason to bring Okada in to heat Shinsuke Nakamura up even further? Tag team him up?
The thing that I really dislike about a lot of the matches that are supposed to really pop from people like AJ Styles versus Shinsuke or Seth Rollins versus this person, like, they are not allowed to wrestle the same type of match that got people talking about them. They got to wrestle at WWE style where shit is slow and we real soft with it. And the camera angles doing all this is what makes y'all excited. But anyway.
Let's get
Yo,
to
my
it.
topic,
hey.
man. My topic, man.
Chill out. Kevin Dunn's gone now.
Fuck him. The 2024 Signature Movers Draft. Let me explain basically what this is. I picked 10 wrestlers that are going to pretty much be, in one way or another, my topic for at least the next half of this year. I picked 10 wrestlers who are doing shit that I like, whether it be on the come up, developing, whether it be promo-wise, whether it be just matches, different federations, all across the spectrum in pro wrestling, just shit that I like, and I want to see what they do this quarter and the next quarter. Maybe
10
I'll
on
do
the
like
fly? God damn.
10. Nah, I prepped for this, bro. I prepped for this.
You just put this in the notes, though, right?
Pete, let me bring my slideshow up. Some of these are going to be like, oh, we already know what time it is. I think my bookends, my A and my Z, these are probably would have been my wrestlers of the year last year. So that might let you know who it is. But there's some people specifically even on some of the shows that I saw over the past weekend, TNA, New Japan, even Collision, that are doing shit that I'm like, oh, I really may not have been as hip to you as I am now. So this is basically just me drafting my team wrestlers that I like watching. This is who draws me, basically.
Okay.
If I see them doing something on TV, I'm definitely tuning in. So let's bring this shit to the stage real quick. We're starting with Athena. That's a given, but I think she's not on the radar for a lot of people because she's on Ring of Honor primarily. So anytime I see Athena on television, on Ring of Honor, or whatever, I'm watching. Right now, she's in a feud. The Native Beast. What is her name?
Nyla Rose.
Nyla Rose is down in Ring of Honor right now and attacked, Athena after the last pay-per-view, and it's interesting. I think Athena's interesting also because at some point this reign has to end. I did some math earlier. She's 47-1 in singles matches. Basically lost to Willow as part of that Owen Hart Cup since she won that world championship. So at some point we got to understand that this is going to come to an end, and then there's going to be a lot of talk as far as what's next for Athena. And I think that happens this year. It probably happens before the summer. You know what I mean? So keep it moving. But I think that's an interesting story because she is the best women's wrestler in the world, in my opinion. But we don't know what's going to be next for her after she wins that championship. Deonna Purrazzo. This was part of the prepped and cooked segment earlier, but I'm watching anything that Deonna Purrazzo does right now. In the ring, I can make an argument that Athena versus Deonna Purrazzo could be a match of the year contender before the bell fucking rings, because the styles are very interesting. We got a powerhouse, we got a heavy hitter, high flyer versus, technique for technique is up there with Serena Deeb. You know what I mean? So anything that Deonna Purrazzo does, I expect her, if she's booked in that match, to beat Toni Storm. You heard it here first, for that world championship by the time we get to the pay-per-view in March. But anything Deonna Purrazzo is doing, I'm watching. Gabe Kidd might not be on a lot of people's radar. Over the weekend, he had a world title match against the man who he's leaning over right now, my man Eddie Kingston. This was actually supposed to be for the Continental Crown, which are those 3 championships. Still have no idea if these could ever be separated or not. But
Ugly belt. It is one of the ugliest belts in AEW, though. That shit looks like
it's less ugly as much as just plain.
It looks like a toy.
It's plain. Yeah, it kind of looks like not quite metal.
That's
You
the
know
belt
what I
they had in Iron Claw.
Yeah. For those not really hip, because I really wasn't that hip. First of all, he's part of the Bullet Club faction over there. He talks a lot of shit, and I believe every word he says. His style is just straight up brawler. The match that he had with Eddie Kingston, he jumped him before the bell rang. They brawled and bled before the bell rang, and it was basically 20 counts of countouts over in New Japan. He talked shit. Eddie Kingston was about to get in the ring to beat the count and actually win the match. He gets on a mic speaking about Gabe Kidd and says, "You fat fuck." Eddie Kingston gets back outside of the ring, double count out. That means this is not over. It was brutal as hell. But anytime he's on the microphone, he cuts a hell of a promo. I believe every word. He's a fucking lunatic, like legit lunatic in real life. But
Okay.
Gabe Kidd, very fire. The Infantry as a faction, I initially had Trish Adora in there as a singles. Trish Adora just had a dope match against Julia. It was a good match. I don't want to say it was crazy. It was a good match. But this is an act that I watch Ring of Honor for, right? The Infantry is a dope tag team. This is Carly Bravo and the captain, Sean Dean. So along with Trish Adora, this is a faction that anytime they're doing something, I'm watching. The tag team of Carly Bravo and Sean Dean, they've been gelling. They have matching gear. It's like an official tag team and not one of those we just put names together type of joints. I implore anybody that ever tunes in the Ring of Honor, watch one of these matches. The innovation as far as the moves are really, really dope. These guys can't go wrong. If they're on
Sean Dean's
TV,
been around for
I'm
a minute.
watching.
He's definitely been putting in work.
And he's figuring it out. He's figuring it out. And this tag team is really dope for him. Plus, he makes a lot of moves behind the scenes. A lot of people that get signed, I think he's one of the plugs.
He's one of the black committee wrestlers.
Yeah. Lee Moriarty, one of my favorites, no surprise here. But just looking at some of the things that they've been doing with Lee Moriarty, brand new music. They stuck him with Shane Taylor. They had him in that Cope Open. They had Shane Taylor walk him out and talk shit about him and then gave the mic to Lee Moriarty so he can talk, introduce himself. And then if you were listening to commentary, it was very complimentary of Lee Moriarty. They made it a point to say, even though you lost, this is just part of the journey. They made it a point to say, for a shoot, he's the first person that shows up to the building and the last person to leave. I think they have equity. I was wrong about Powerhouse Hobbs, at least for the booking, so we'll see. But Lee Moriarty is one of them dudes. If he's on TV, I'm watching. Mike Santana, current House of Glory world champion. We already know what time it is. The reason I think he's really interesting is because we see Ortiz is already booked for a match on Collision. We haven't seen Mike Santana. So it seems as though he might be on the outs. Whether he's booked on AEW TV moving forward or not, nobody knows. Nobody knows what his contract looks like. So it might be interesting to see between now and the end of this year if his contract is up and he starts moving around. Where does he go? Does he go to TNA? Does he go to a NXT or a WWE? We'll see. Mustafa Ali, this campaign is fucking crazy. We already saw him in Impact. He's calling his shots. He's booked for that Chicago show in New Japan. He is probably as far as somebody who isn't signed to one promotion, the hottest guy right now. He's posting, if you're paying attention to his ex, every show that he's on is sold out. And people have been saying he's the guy who's been moving tickets on the indies more the same way that Cody moved tickets when he first got to the indies. Mustafa Ali's been moving tickets, so can't beat that. So when he's on TV, I'm watching. Pete Dunne, the reason why, Butch is dead. I expect at some point between the SmackDown coming up tomorrow and maybe the week after or whatever, they finally re-announce him as Pete Dunne, the bruiserweight, properly do what he's supposed to do. He was one of my favorite guys when he was wrestling in Progress. He was one of my favorite guys when NXT UK. This is the NXT UK championship that he's holding right there. I'm interested to see once he gets back to the bruiserweight, gets back to Pete Dunne. Does he do the tag team thing with Tyler Bate for a little bit? Does he go after a singles championship? I don't know. But if he's on TV, I'm watching. We have another faction right here. This is Danny Luna is the main reason. She's the woman that's in the center right here. She's was part of the X, not the X division, but the Ultimate X match from this past weekend. She impressed me. I wasn't really all that hip to her. She impressed me. This was a match that we were talking about. Like, it looks like this person definitely has an in. Like Tasha Steelz, for example, with somebody. We looked at Tasha Steelz and Quintessential Diva. What's her name?
Giselle Shaw.
Giselle Shaw being like the only two people that could probably win that match. But Danny Luna impressed me. I mean, so she's a powerhouse. If she's on TV, I'm watching. But just this tandem right here. What the fuck is the name of it? Subculture. Yeah, they're dope. I was obviously familiar with the other two.
Former tag team champions.
Exactly, former tag team champions.
NXT and TNA.
But these are the Welsh All-Stars right here. Finally, no surprise here, Zack Sabre Jr. He's going up against Bryan Danielson, but the thing that's interesting here, he lost that New Japan TV championship. But the interesting thing is, what's the championship that he sets his sights on? Does he go in the New Japan Cup, try to get a world championship shot opportunity? But yeah, that's basically what the signature movers is. This is my draft. Everybody that I just mentioned is doing something that I think is pretty interesting. So at some point, my topic is going to revolve around one of these 10 acts moving forward. Ain't really nothing to discuss here. I'm just introducing this shit. Feel me?
Okay.
That was dope.
That was a good
bro.
list. I can't really disagree with that list at all, honestly. Like, that was a really
fire.
strong list.
Yeah.
Very thorough. I
I
appreciate it.
enjoy it.
Yeah, ditto.
This is one of those moments where it's like,
Yeah,
yeah, I ain't got no rebuttal on that one. I was like, shit, that was a damn better list than I was gonna say. I was about to say fucking Logan Paul.
Because the other part, the thought process was going like, if Logan Paul is doing something, we're all going to talk about it. Somebody's going to drop that. If Roman Reigns does something, if Okada does something, I think like outside of a couple of names on here, these are guys and girls for that matter that might fall under the radar for the most point. So I want to see like, all right, if I'm putting some stock as far as time on our show to talk about them, are you guys coming up? Are you elevating? Are you doing something different? Or by the time we get to, let's say, April, are you just kind of spinning your wheel still? So let's see. The talent is there. Let's see if the booking matches.
I think the most interesting, the one I'm looking forward to most to see is Pete Dunne, and hopefully seeing if he's gonna go solo or if he's gonna do something with Tyler Bate. And seems like he's gonna do something with Tyler Bate, judging off the last promo that they had. I think it was on SmackDown, I believe.
Yep.
So yeah, it was out because you saw I tweeted it was like, yo, they changed his
Pete
name
Dunne
back to Pete Dunne, and I was like, yo, he's very happy, get back to the bruiserweight, start killing everything, man. So
what would also be fire is if there's like a Regal cameo, right? Because
that's
Regal,
what I heard.
they got a lot of history together. So let's see Regal like kind of bring that dog back out of Pete Dunne. Let's see.
I wouldn't be mad. I wouldn't be mad if Regal came in and started managing. Then that would be fire, man. Like that would be super
Yes, sir.
dope. And then it was saying, wasn't it? We were saying it was like he went back to NXT to work with his son, but he was saying he couldn't be on TV for like a year or something like that.
Yeah,
I
not compete.
think it's
That passed already though, didn't it?
Then
Yeah, he's good to go now.
Okay, so if that does happen, I wouldn't be mad at that. You know what I'm saying? So, all right. So I guess I'm up right now.
Yeah, what you
Yes,
talking,
sir.
bro?
All right. Well, just make it real quick. Just bridging off of, we saw Nick Nemeth return at TNA. So at the Battle of the Valley, we actually saw Jack Perry return as well after the first match, and he attacked. Let me see what his name was. Give me 1 minute. I forgot
Who he
the-
attacked? Hiromu
Yeah,
Takahashi.
Right.
Hiromu Takahashi.
Right. And
No, excuse me, my fault. Nah, Shooter. Shota Umino, who is
right.
Shota Umino is the referee Red Shoes. That's his son, and that's like he's part of John Moxley's crew. So when Mox comes over to Japan, that's his young boy over there.
Right. Gotcha.
Excellent enunciation.
Yo, listen, I couldn't even. I would have fumbled
you
that
definitely-
pronunciation.
Ayo came through and was like, "I got you. Don't worry."
Nah, you
Yeah,
might.
I ain't
Nah,
even-
don't
yeah,
even
you
worry about
definitely
that.
my Japanese translator, dog. Like for real. And anyways, so we saw
Japanese wrestler, the Japanese wrestler whisperer. You heard?
that. Yo, facts. So yeah, we saw that he attacked him. He threw him in a ring, gave him a little kick, whatever. And he pulled out his AEW contract, tore that up, and then he put on a armband that said "Scapegoat." Came back with the beard. You know what I'm saying? We haven't seen him since that little thing he had with Punk back in August. He got I think he got suspended indefinitely after that. So here you go. He pops up, man. So question is, do we care? Do we not care? If we do care, like, what do you see him doing? Do you see him signing to New Japan? What do you see for Jack Perry?
I love this shit. I think this is dope. I almost mentioned him earlier when who were we talking about? We were talking about Penna. We were talking about Penna and basically the Lucha Bros going out on the indies and kind of getting their name hot. And I almost mentioned like this is what Jack Perry is going to do right now. Not necessarily the indies, but this is an excursion. And you use all of the things that people talk about you. We already know that the reason that Punk is in WWE is because he had his shit with Jack Perry and the Real Glass and Cry Me a River and all of that shit. So I think this is really fucking good, and I'm interested in watching it because he's going to add another wrinkle to his game. Period. Right? Use all of the heat, use all of the criticism, use everything that people are going to talk shit about you. Use it to your advantage. Now we got to see if what he does next on screen actually matches up. But what's interesting to me is because he attacked Shota, and because Shota has a thing with Mox, that's his young boy, do they interact at some point? Is there a Mox and fucking Jack Perry kind of thing? And then him tearing up his AEW contract real quick is interesting also, because does that mean that there's going to be, he's part of that same California crew, right? So the Young Bucks are like that Northern California crew or whatever, but now they're playing this EVP character. So is there some kind of thing where, think about all of the heat.
Amazing
Yeah.
character, by the way.
Amazing characters. But think about all of the heat, all of these guys that people that want to blame them and their interaction with Punk for the reason why Punk isn't there anymore. Think about all of the heat that happens if he joins up with the Young Bucks once he gets back to AEW, because he will be back in AEW at some point. So
Right.
I like it.
Absolutely. I'll maybe just add this. I always look at New Japan as the place to like really hone your skills. So I feel like this is what Jack Berry could do after leaving AEW, and he could either stay there, or that will build him up to go somewhere else. So this is how I look at it right now. So
It's character work.
right,
It's character work. The current champ, Tetsuya Naito, became Tetsuya Naito that we know him today because he went on excursion to CMLL and joined up with Los Ingobernables, which started over there with Roosh and with Andrade and one or two other people. And then he brought that gimmick back to Japan. He could already wrestle. It ain't like Jack Perry can't wrestle.
he does
What
that
you
well,
need to
yeah.
add something else to your game to connect with the fans. So maybe he goes over there and does that.
Right. Bug, what say you?
Yeah, I think Jack Perry has the propensity to be, or it could be a really big heel. I think it would be really funny if Tony Khan came out with like a roll of like change in his hand and like knocked him out or something, or like brass knuckles, and like just came and knocked him out at one of his shows at New Japan. Just like Tony Khan from out the crowd goes and knocks out Jack Perry. That'd be hysterical. But nah, I mean, I like the fact that he came back that way, because I think if he came back and did literally anything in AEW, as soon as he took his first breath of air, everyone was just going to tear him apart. So I think it's a good like ushering into maybe doing something a little different.
Word.
Was never really a Jack Perry guy, but I mean, hey, he's here to stay now. And after being out 4 months, now he's just all of a sudden back. For some odd reason, he's been the scapegoat. He's been the one to take the fall for everything.
I'm telling you, man, this is all leading up to him turning face again and using that theme music. My son loves his fucking the Jungle Boy theme music. So I'm telling you, once
He's got to get it out of the system.
Face turn comes back, it's gonna be fantastic.
I ain't really got too much to say on Jack Perry other than he's back. Like I'm not really watching too much of what's going on across the pond, but I'm sure news will travel on the internet as it always does, and I'll be able to catch up from there. But as far as Jack Perry, he's good without AEW. I feel like he will be back in time to feud with Nick Wayne for Christian's love and affection over the course of the next 6 months if Kill Switch doesn't turn at any point.
Word. Let me just add this. I was reading too that back in December, Perry did file for a trademark, including for his name, for Jungle Boy, and something else. I think it was just Jungle Boy. He might not have gotten it. It might have been AEW might have prevented it. That could have been because of the suspension or whatever. Could be many reasons why he's ripping up the contract, because what's the reason he's ripping up the contract in front of everybody? So could have been a few things that was happening behind the scenes for him to have for them to end off on a possible sour note,
I forgot who it was. I think it was somebody on Busted Open, but they mentioned just because he ripped up his contract, doesn't mean anything. Like, you could rip up a contract. It doesn't mean that it's no longer a contract.
Yeah, I also felt that as well.
This is story. Like, on wrestling television, when you rip up a contract and mean something in real life, that shit is paper. We already know. You're not getting out of terms and conditions, my dude.
Yeah, like you could rip up a ticket if you get it from a cop too. But
Definitely.
you still got that.
Yeah, you still got to pay. They're still gonna hit you with the interest and the fees if you late too. Mm-hmm. He is still very much signed with AEW. You gotta think about the relationship that AEW New Japan has. They ain't fucking nothing up, no money up for Jack Perry. So this is storyline, but it's gonna be dope.
Nah, for sure.
It should be dope. There's an opportunity here for him to hit the refresh button.
Refresh is needed, to say the least.
Yeah.
Right. My topic is really simple. I think it's pretty fun. But I just went down memory lane earlier this week because something showed up on my Explore page, and it just reminded me of some childhood memories watching wrestling. So my topic this week is just wrestling promos or anything that you remember from your childhood wrestling. And by childhood, I mean like before you're like 10 years old, like, when we were real young. That like stood out to you, that like at the time was like so amazing, and then like now you just look back at it and it's like, oh, all right, that's how they did that or whatever. So for me, I'm sure nobody remembers who this guy is, so I'm gonna throw him on the screen because it's hysterical. But if anybody remembers who this guy is or what his significance is, let me know.
Steve Jordan.
I have no idea who that
Nah,
is.
who is this man?
You have no idea who this guy is. All
What's
right,
going
let's
on?
give these.
Yo, what's going on, King?
All right. So
It's part of Black Man
So-
Muscle now.
nah, this was the gentleman in the promo with Mr. Perfect when he threw the football to himself. So,
I remember
was-
that shit.
so when I was
This
a
guy,
little
he's the
kid-
first inductee into the Black Man Muscle Hall of Fame.
Yeah, nah, for real. Look at him. But nah, yo, bro, when we were kids, that Mr. Perfect promo really got me. And like, I don't know, for whatever reason, I really thought like that shit was amazing. Yo, for copyright purposes, I will absolutely not play any WWE material on this podcast.
Word.
But if you go back and you actually watch that, you would die laughing to see how horrible that shit is. There's no way, shape, or form it was ever believable. But shouts out to Mr. Perfect for getting that off. What you guys got? You got any memories
Yeah.
that come to mind?
Okay. Go ahead.
Do you
Go ahead.
remember when Bret Hart pushed Vince McMahon? Like he came
Yeah.
back after the. You remember that? So, what's very funny to me about that shit is the way he said bullshit is just always made me laugh. Like, yo, this is bullshit. It was like one like really short word. It's like BOUSHIT. One word.
Hilarious.
It just always made me laugh. It's like, who fucking says bullshit like that, bro? Because you never really heard this dude yell, scream, curse, none of that. All of a sudden, he loses it, and it's like, yo, that's all you got, my guy? Like,
That's hilarious.
I always
Bret
thought that
Hart.
shit was funny, but that was the
Bullshit.
first thing that came to mind. It was one of them things where back then, it was like, oh my God, Bret Hart, you snapped, you lost it. Now I laugh at that shit every time, dog.
Off top for me is going to be The Rock imitating everyone at the Raw promo before Hell in a Cell Armageddon 2000. That was the infamous promo where he just roasted
I know what you're talking
Rikishi,
about.
The Undertaker, Triple H,
Yeah.
I did it for
Kurt
the Rock.
Angle, Steve Austin, and it was just like I'm watching Raw and I'm just like, yo, this guy is one of the fucking best. Like this guy, he is awesome. Like this is like he kid them right now. So it's like The Rock cutting that promo. I can watch that now to this day and still be like, that's a funny promo, and nobody can match the energy, but maybe LA Knight.
Oh,
Yeah.
man. Yo, you know what I just remembered, and I don't know why I believe this nonsense. Do you remember when and Hardcore Holly and Crash Holly were a tag team, and remember they said
Yeah.
they were 1,000.
Super heavyweights?
They were super heavyweights. They
Yo,
were
fam, he
1,000
carried around a
pounds
scale.
and carrying around a scale, and I believe that bullshit. Saying that they were 1,000 pounds. I'm like, why the fuck are they 1,000 pounds? And these
Yes.
niggas look skinny as hell.
Super heavyweights.
Super heavyweights. I was like, yo, my gullible dumbass thought that was the
They
fact.
must be really, really tall.
Yo, must be like 7 foot, and this dude was like 5 foot. Man, R.I.P. Crash Holly, man, for real. Like,
Word up.
Jesus.
What
It's
we
on
got?
you, God.
Where we at with it?
It's on you.
It's on me. All
Yes,
right.
sir.
Well, we're gonna close out Audible on the topic. I'll save my trios topic for another time. I'm going to go with, in light of Royal Rumble season happening, real quick off the top of y'all heads. Favorite WWE random title match, the Royal Rumble. Because the Royal Rumble is always going to have a title match no matter what. You know what I'm saying? Alongside the Royal Rumble itself. Like, there isn't a Royal Rumble that goes by where there isn't a heavyweight title defense. So, what would some of your favorite random WWE title matches be at the Royal Rumble? Because they're usually for getaway matches. Like, just complete throwaway WWE. Like, I'm talking like Batista versus Mr. Kennedy I found the other day. I was like, where the fuck was I for that? It's like, what the fuck?
What year was that, dog?
2007. I was like, wow, this is
Mr. Kennedy.
it was like this was like heavy Mr. Kennedy vibes, and I was like, wow, what the fuck era was that? I was like, I know I was tapped out from that, but Yeah, pretty much. What's some of y'all favorite random WWE title match in the Royal Rumble? I guess I'll start. I think Chris Benoit, Kurt Angle, Royal Rumble 2003 was my first time actually seeing a pure wrestling match, and that's when I knew that I absolutely loved professional wrestling because those two had a banger that match. Like they always had matches against each other, but just in 2003 it was a little different. Kurt Angle was running roughshod on SmackDown with Team Angle. You know what I'm saying? Team Angle was going crazy. So, I think that match was one of my favorites. Random one is Brock Lesnar versus Hardcore Holly. I think it was mad fucking stupid. But for squash match purposes, 6 minutes and like 45 seconds, I think the match was. Like, honestly, Brock got Hardcore Holly the fuck out of here. There's a couple of random ones. We had Brock Lesnar versus Ricochet not too long ago. Remember that one? That was cute. That was a cute one. You know what I'm saying? Ricochet, God bless his soul. He really tried. You know what I mean? And I guess it's another couple other ones we had. Whenever y'all want to jump in, I gotta get that one.
I'm looking right now.
Yeah.
Chris Jericho. So this is what year is this? 2000. The triple threat that Chris Jericho had against China and Hardcore Holly for the undisputed Intercontinental Championship match. When I look back on that, it just sounds ridiculous to read. That sounds ridiculous to read. I'm just kind of scrolling through because that's a tough one to come up with on the fly.
I mean, just any world title match from the Royal Rumble.
Oh, okay.
Because some of
World
the
title match?
matches that be forgetting. Yeah, some of those world title matches be forgotten about because you only focus on the Rumble. But you think about it, and there's still world title matches that happen in the Royal Rumble. Like Kevin Owens and Roman Reigns last year was a pivotal match, the Royal Rumble.
I'm seeing 01 right now, Kurt Angle and Triple H. Let me go through these. This might be kind of fun.
I got one. I got Triple H versus Cactus Jack, Royal Rumble 2000.
Classic.
That was one of my first times watching
that's
wrestling.
classic.
Fire.
That match was ridiculous.
That's a classic. I mean, the one the year before when The Rock hit Foley with the 10-11 chair shots to the head. If you look back on that and realize that the whole storyline was they played the audio, he never said I quit. Well, he knocked the shit out of him. He was only supposed to hit him about 2 or 3 times, I believe. I think he wrote about it or Foley wrote about it in his book, and Rock just kind of blacked out and smacked that nigga.
Yo, blacked out is insane.
He just said, nah, turn around. Bop, bop, bop. Like, he was leaking. That's hard to watch now, knowing everything that I know about CTE, but that's one of those. 2002 Royal Rumble. Let's see. That was Undisputed Championship. Chris Jericho against The Rock.
Sleeper.
Yeah, let's see what 2000. That's Red Braid Chris Jericho.
Yeah, that was
fresh
nasty.
off of the two. Yeah, that he was balling.
Yeah, nasty gear.
Angle versus Benoit was 03.
Yeah, that was ridiculous. One of my favorite matches of all time.
2004. Last man standing match, World Heavyweight Championship, Triple H versus Shawn Michaels.
That
the
match was bloody. That was bloody.
The WWE Championship was the one you mentioned, Hardcore Holly and Brock.
Yes.
I'll pull up 2 more. 05. 05 was a solid year. Singles match, Triple H versus Randy Orton for the World Heavyweight.
Oh,
and then
God.
JB, oh man,
vortex we were in.
Listen to this one. Triple threat match for the WWE is JBL versus the Big Show and Kurt Angle.
What a vortex we were in for that time.
I remember that one. Jeez.
I got a great one since we're on the topic.
Yep.
But because this could have been totally different. If this was different, we might have somebody else in the Hall of Fame. I mean, he's in the Hall of Fame already, but in a different light. But in what's the year here? Well, excuse me. This would be 1993. We have Bret Hart defeating Razor Ramon for the WWF Championship by submission.
I think that was his first pay-per-view, if I'm not mistaken. Talking about Scott Hall. No, 92 was.
See? Sleepers.
Yeah.
So if Razor won that at the Rumble, that would have been fire. Imagine Razor with the WWF Championship back then. That would have been fantastic.
The number one guy to never win a world title.
Facts.
Yeah, number 2 would be Perfect. I feel like Perfect was right up there too.
Yeah, I just saw. I just got John Cena versus AJ Styles Royal Rumble 2017. I thought that
Sleeper.
was fire. And then they had another match.
They had
right?
like 5 matches.
Yeah.
Yo. Bangers.
All of them shits
All
hit.
on fire.
Slapping.
And then another one was Triple H versus Kurt Angle 2001. There was that whole
Yeah, why?
storyline with Stephanie. I think
Yeah.
with you remember that one thing with like Stephanie was messing with like Kurt Angle, or they're like, I think wasn't Stephanie like managing Kurt Angle or something
Yep.
like that, and they
Yo,
That might have been the year that they had that 4-way match at WrestleMania, where it was a McMahon in every corner.
Nah, that was leading up to WrestleMania 17. Fam, they were trying to get the fuck away from that Kurt Angle Stephanie shit, son. Like, they really tried, bro. Like, they were trying to give us that shit, but like, Austin and Rock was so hot that it was just like, man, we don't really.
We don't need to do this.
Like, what is this going on over here?
We don't
This
need
is
to
for the
do
title. Like, this is for the title. Like, wow.
We don't
So
need
yeah,
to do this.
I remember that era. I remember that. Yeah, man, we
shit.
have some classics on the WrestleMania.
When is the Rumble? Next weekend?
Yep,
The
next
20s.
weekend. Yep,
Next weekend. Defending that title, prop bets only. Ain't no who's gonna win, who's gonna lose. It's what's gonna happen in the match and what's not.
Okay,
I'm gonna
champ.
write this
New
shit
year,
out.
new rules.
Jacob Fatu coming in that 30-man or nah?
Not with that MLW 360 contract that man is in.
Yeah, bro.
That nigga is
He's putting
signed.
out albums. He's putting out
signed-
albums for the next
Yeah.
4
He
years.
signed to Court Bauer and Leo Cohen, bro. It's over.
He is only producing MLW
Wild
quality
combination.
for the next few, man.
That nigga is signed to Death Row Pro Wrestling, dog.
Anytime I see his name, I just be like, "Is it?" And then it's just like,
He was in Japan. He was on the New Japan show.
yeah. Anytime I just see him just like doing like a show, I always
Yeah.
or a name pop up. I'm like, "Yo, Jacob Fatu debuts in AEW." It's just like, nah, him and GCW take over the world. I'm just like,
Yeah. Hey man, somehow Hammerstone got out of that, so stranger things have happened.
Hey man, salute to the world champ Alex Kane, Alex Boomaye. You know what I'm saying? I know he
There you
taps
go.
in Ringside Club. You know what I'm saying?
There you
So,
go.
Salute.
hey man, MLW doing their thing for who they doing it for, man. You know what I mean?
I tap in from time to time.
I'll be there from
Time to time.
Sporadically, I'll
Shouts
be
out
there.
shouts out to Jay Bougie too, coming up in the rankings. I see him
Word up.
popping up all over the place now.
Facts,
Oh,
though.
facts, word, man.
Fact,
Dead
though.
ass.
Yeah. I mean, last week we didn't get to do our outro survey properly.
Yo, I just cut it. What's the outro survey this week?
I feel like we can just run it back. They're making a strong case for it in their world. Will the Undisputed Kingdom go down as one of the best tag teams of all time?
Dog, nah.
Wait, did we answer it? I don't know if we answered it.
Last
No,
week
we never.
did.
No.
Nah, we talked
You
about
can-
it off air.
Yeah, no, because you cut it.
Patreon.
You cut it right before he's about to before you asked it.
I ain't know it.
why
And
are
I
you
cut
setting
it.
them? Well, the real question is why are you setting these men up like that? Like, why?
Son,
you doing
Chad
that?
don't believe it. Chad don't. He don't believe
Yo,
that
they've
shit.
been saying it. Adam Cole said it.
Oh.
The Undisputed Kingdom will go down as one of the best tag teams of all time. And I'm going to hold Adam Cole to that damn statement.
Yo, Bill O'Reilly said, "Fuck it, we're going live." But you know what I mean? Who cares? You know what I mean? Yo, I
Oh,
don't know,
man.
So what we doing?
Listen,
Yes.
listen,
Oh, it's a strong no from my box.
bro. Nah.
listen. I said, if it's ROH, possibly the top 5, top 10. But if you're talking overall, man, they ain't cracking top 40 though.
I don't even think they're top, like in Ring of Honor. First of all, Ring of Honor ain't even Ring of Honor anymore.
Ring of
But
Honor,
old Ring of Honor,
landscape.
old Ring of Honor, I don't even think they're up there. Like I think they're a good tag team, but they did more individually that was kind of notable. You know?
I can't even know anything really like that individually. So that's why I say, like, when I hear tag teams and ROH, I know I automatically think of them. You know, top 5, top 10. You know what I'm saying? And
you might be right. I gotta do the knowledge. I gotta
yeah,
go back and check.
because when I
Yeah, look at Ron with the defense. He had the stats pulled up. Stat guy Ron.
yeah, because every time I think of ROH, it's like I think of the Kingdom. You know what
Nah,
I'm saying?
I do.
What you talking about? You talking about a person I started
Alright,
looking
That
at.
Matt Taven era,
fair,
I tapped in for the Matt Taven era. I was there for that. Like, man.
But check, I could run off a couple of teams that were better. Briscoes were better. Red Dragon was better. War Machine was better. There's 3 right there, so they ain't in the top 3.
Well, I said
Let's
top
talk
5,
about
top
the
10.
real question. How many of y'all think that Matt Taven looks like he could like sideline as like a street magician?
Yo,
Ladies and gentlemen, that's our show this week. We appreciate y'all checking in. We really love y'all. Actually, unless you're from San Diego. But if any of y'all have anything else to say, please let me know.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh
Yeah.
shit.
We out.
peace.
Chris Taven,
Chris Taven.
Chris Angel Taven, Chris Angel